Hello! In honor of Pat McGrath's birthday week, I am going to show you how I got this look with one of her Mothership palettes, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself too. So I started my makeup already, and so far I have put on my serum. This is just Bliss Bright Idea, and I have also put on my moisturizer with SPF, which is the Paracone MD Photo Brightening Moisturizer. And I also put some Derma E eye lifting cream on under my eyes, and that's it. And I've already gone in with the Makeup by Mario Eye Prep and Set in the shade Deep. And I am starting with the Pat McGrath Mothership palette. Ooh, girl. This is Mothership II Sublime. And I thought that today I would also give you a bit of information about me. But before we do that, so this week is special because we are focusing, and by we, I mean me, you, and a few other people, are focusing on Pat McGrath because it is her birthday week. I fully think that she should, celebrate the entire month. I celebrate all of July, and my birthday's at the end of July. So, it's Pat McGrath's birthday week, and so a few creators on here decided that they would focus on her for the week, so doing looks with her products and things like that. So I tried to jump on the bandwagon. I'm jumping on it, and I was thinking, okay, let me do a Pat McGrath focused week as well. I actually wasn't going to do it initially because I feel like I use a lot of Pat McGrath all the time. But oh well, it's her birthday week. She gets whatever she wants. Some of the creators I have been introduced virtually recently. One of those folks is Yachty Beauty, and she's amazing, mainly because she's from California, like I am. So, but she is great. She's so super sweet, very beautiful. She does a lot on her channel with kind of deep dives and giving information about products and brands. So watching her information on Pat McGrath yesterday, I learned a lot about Dame Patricia. And then another person that I watched is Chris Loves Luxe, and she is also really awesome. She does lots of reviews and things on luxury products, really detailed. I really appreciate her channel. I know another person who's doing it is Dr. Ash in her makeup. I'm newer to her channel, so I don't know as much about her. But I know she's a doctor and she loves makeup. And I'm like, okay, me too, girl. So we're going to start. So I am going to take this shade here. Now, a moment ago, full disclosure, I opened this and tried to show it, and one of the shades popped out. I had to get on the floor and pick up that shade, but it's fine. It didn't break or anything. I think it was just I just want to see the outside world. Okay, so I'm going in with this first on a Refer 2. I'm gonna tap that off. Oh, and I have the fan on because it is hotter than fish grease in here, and I can't. I just it's hot. So forgive me for having that fan noise in the background. All right, so I figured I would tell you all a little bit about me because I don't share anything really about myself on the channel, and I will tell you why in a moment. But I am originally from California. My parents are immigrants from the Caribbean, so I identify as Black and Caribbean American. Yes. Okay, what else? I'm the youngest of a couple of us, 4 or 5. Girl, that's a lot of us. You can probably tell by the way I act that I'm the youngest child. But I love my family. I love my siblings. I talk to them pretty much every day. And what I mean by that is that we are on the phone texting and stuff because I'm no longer in California. I am on the other coast working in my career. So in terms of career, I am a licensed psychologist. It's okay. I can't read your mind. Sometimes I can. And don't worry, I won't be diagnosing you. Any of that stuff. I do have my PhD in counseling psychology. Now, I am a psychologist and not a psychiatrist. I know sometimes folks get a little confused by that. I think my parents and my family, like, they still are like, are you a psychiatrist or a psychologist? I'm like, y'all, it's been like 10, 12 years. But a psychiatrist is typically someone who has a medical degree and they have extra training in psychiatric things, mental health. And they can prescribe medication. A psychologist, on the other hand, has a PhD or a PsyD, which is a different degree. And typically we do not prescribe medication. I think there's some like push to have some folks prescribe it. I don't know. Let's not go into that. Anyway, what was I saying? I'm a psychologist. Yeah, I have a PhD. And my PhD is in counseling psychology. Counseling psychology is a bit different from like clinical psychology. I'm not going to go into all of it, but I know sometimes people have questions. But counseling psychologists, we are typically trained as generalists, meaning we work with everything, or we can. And there is also a strong social justice like emphasis in counseling psychology. So I'm gonna say a lot because I'm like not used to just focusing on myself. What else did I say? I'm from California. I said I'm from California. I'm from South Central LA. Psychologist, blah blah. So the things that I focus on in terms of my career, I initially, and I'm going to pick up another color. I'm going to get this one. I'm just trying not to let this shade fall out. I initially was working at a, where do I want to put it? At a large counseling center. And that was for about 9 years, almost 10 years. And then in 2018, I decided that I wanted and needed to leave that job because it was killing me. I had super high blood pressure. I was really, really stressed. I was experiencing depression, anxiety. Yeah. So anyways, I decided in 2018 to go into full-time private practice. Now, before that, I had been doing private practice part-time. So I would have my like 40 plus hour a week job at a counseling center, and then I would be seeing private practice clients in the evening, which was crazy. And the weekends, girl, I was working all the time. But in 2018, I decided to take the jump and go straight into private practice. It was super scary. My family was like, what you doing? What you mean you're not going to have like a regular check? And I was like, I don't know, girl. But I have done it. I haven't looked back. I look back sometimes because it's expensive to own a business. But it was such a good decision for me because it really, really, really helped my health. Anyway, there's that. And then last year, 2020, I joined a couple of practices in 2018. In 2020, I decided to start my own independent practice because one of the practices was kind of racist. And yeah, I was the only Black psychologist there. That wasn't easy. Okay, sorry, I didn't tell you I'm taking this shade here. Ugh, am I gonna upload this? I don't know. Okay. I think it's just that I don't talk about myself a lot. Like usually the client is talking to me and I'm like, and so yeah, this is a little uncomfortable. A few things that I kind of focus on, or that folks would say are my clinical expertise. You like how I said folks would say, huh? I didn't say I would say it. I mean, I would. Ooh, okay. my expertise is in trauma and PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. I work with a significant amount of trauma survivors. A lot of that is folks who are survivors of sexual assault or childhood abuse, interpersonal relationship violence. I also do a lot with racial trauma, and much of my work is focused on marginalized communities. That doesn't mean that I don't see other folks. Like, my caseload isn't 100% people of color. Yeah. I work with adults, so 18 plus. I am a licensed psychologist, and what that means is that I had to take this crazy behind test called the EPPP. I had to take that and pass it, and then I also had to take the state exam and pass that. And just because for funsies, I decided to get licensed in 3 places. I don't know. So having a license means that I am licensed. And I guess it also means I've been supervised in my clinical work. I have to abide by the rules and ethics of psychology and law and all that good stuff. Yeah. So what else? Trauma. I did mention that I work with trauma survivors and racial trauma experiences. And I also do a lot of work with just various marginalized communities. So I do have quite a few folks on my caseload who identify as queer or LGBTQIA+, religious minorities. Yeah. And there is that. So I'm going to grab this thing here and do my brows. I can't really think of anything else that might be pertinent to know. Oh, you can call me Shawnee or Smiley. In my career, of course, I'm called Doctor. Reason that I got into makeup and started just like buying a ton of it and things like that is, I think, partly in relation to my work. So I love my work. I love working with survivors. Not everyone does, because it is an emotionally taxing field or work. Sometimes at the end of the day, especially if I've had like a majority trauma caseload that day, I'm wiped. And sometimes I just want to pretend the world isn't trash and buy makeup. And so makeup has become something that kind of helps me zone out, like when I play with different colors and things like that. Or, yeah, I don't know. It's just a great way for me to focus on other things rather than trauma, you know? So I'm probably just going to zoom through the rest of this because you don't really need to know. So here is the finished look. Hope you like it. Hope it helps. And like and subscribe if you would like. And I'll see you next time.